Hello everyone, my name is Callior. I bring to you every week the latest news related to Bloodhunt and everything around it, and I help explain the news in a way to better understand what is going on. Hello YouTube, yes indeed. For posterity, archival, and recording purposes, it is currently Saturday, December 17th, 2022. It is currently 11:34 a.m. Eastern Time. It has been 235 days since the release of Bloodhunt, and we now have the December Pass or Nemesis Pass, which will last until we don't know. We don't know how many days, but it started this week. Just as a reminder, we are recording this live on Twitch every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. At least that's when I'm starting. Hold on. Save, thank you. Yes. And if you are live, feel free to ask questions in the chat. You're all adorable. I love you. Thank you for interacting. And as a reminder and a disclosure, I am not a game dev. I am not bound by an NDA, but I will do the best to explain the news with reasonable assumptions. Now, the topics for today. We're going to be talking, of course, the Twitch drops, a little merch update. Of course, we are going to be delving into the December update. That is going to be a big part of today's show. And also, we are going to be talking about community hot topics. Want to alert everyone that I will just be touching on the general feedback from everyone. I will not try necessarily to debate the whole thing. I'm just here to present the information, and then you'll figure out your opinion of your own way. It's just a bunch of things that I just want to put out there to make sure that you have the correct info or any kind of possibilities of different info or different options that are out there, just so you can give informed feedback to the devs and all of this, and have interesting discussion between each other, but with good knowledge of what's happening. But first, before we go in, if you haven't, please give me a follow. Even if you're not going to turn on notifications, it would mean a lot. I stream very casually during the week whenever I feel like it. Like I just said, I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so I'm going to be streaming on and off different times. I want to stream a lot more because these last 2 weeks, I really miss streaming, and I like chatting with people, and I like having a little bit of a community that's happening right now. And also, I will be giving away a lot of purple paint jackets. So yeah, I'll be getting back into streaming. I will also be streaming at least one game that will be just holiday related, that will not be Bloodhunt. You might want to bring some alcohol. We're just gonna have some laughs. I hope I can pull it off, actually. But yeah, that's gonna be something in the near future. Be giving streaming at different times probably as well, to give out as many purple paint jackets to as many people in the community as possible. And so let's get on with it. Let's jump into it. Oh, let me see. All right, jumping into it. Of course, let's link things in the chat. There we go. As you already know, right now, still currently this week, we still have the previous 6 drops from the Twitch drop event that we have with Bloodhunt. It's open to everyone that streams Bloodhunt and has drops activated, that is able to give out the drops to whoever watches the channel. You have to watch for 2 hours in order to get everything that is currently on screen, all those six cosmetics. And then we will be back on December 23rd, which is next week. Exactly, yeah, Mokrai, where we will be getting the please website. Let's reload. There we go. We will be getting the Please Die outfit that so many people are looking forward to getting. So yes, that's going to be starting on December 23rd, and it will be the top 100 Bloodhunt streamers that will have this drop activated on their channel. So yeah, if you want to be a part of this, there's a section on the website where you can have a Twitch drops and content creator program. You might want to take a look at this to have some instructions and join the Discord and be part of the inner circle to figure out exactly how you can get all of this happening with your stream channel if ever you are a streamer or content creator. What happens after the week of the 23rd? We don't know. It's still going to be holiday period. I've always suggested that maybe we still extend this one for the Please That Outfit drop for a second week, because some people may be out of, like, in different parts of the world for the holidays and may not be able to get the drop. Maybe we can extend it, but we don't know exactly what's going to be happening, so we'll have to keep some tabs on that. In terms of merch, you have noticed, if you were there at the beginning of the stream, you might have noticed that I've been playing a little video. Yes, and also if you were a part of the list for the waiting list, or at least the newsletters for Advanced GG, you have received an email yesterday about this. But yes, there are now new bundles at Advanced GG for the Bloodhunt Blood Orange, but they include socks. And yeah, the legendary, the much talked about in the community socks. For people who don't know, all the different like streamer packages and people that have been in conventions that have been getting the Bloodhunt socks have been raving about the socks. It'd be like, just, it's a pair of socks, or maybe it's gamers, like we don't usually, like, at least male gamers, we don't necessarily pay attention to our clothing as long as we got a t-shirt on and we just like, but yeah, socks. Apparently those socks are absolutely awesome, and they've revised the Bloodhunt page on Advanced GG. Well, now, yes, still can get your in-game cosmetic, the Embers and Ashes makeup. But now all of this has been changed. Now you can still buy the tubs individually if you want, but now we've got different bundles where you can buy the tub with a pair of socks, and the tub with the pair of socks, and also the glow-in-the-dark vampire shaker that they've got there. And there's also another one to where you can buy 2 jars and have the socks and the glow-in-the-dark shaker. I guess that they added that because now with the new revamped page here, you can see that the ice shaker, the official Bloodhunt ice shaker, is no longer available. So can assume that it's out of stock. There were limited quantities of it. Not gonna see it anymore. It's a possibility. Though I feel it tastes better when it comes out of this, so I'm one of the lucky ones. But yes, there's always the option of this. If ever you feel like getting I know it's a flex. If ever you feel like still getting the ice shaker, there are plenty of ice shakers in the ice shaker section. By the way, this is not a plug, but yeah, there's still like this kind of same design. It's still there. You can still like get it, but however, the even in this section where you can see like the sold out ones, the Bloodhunt one is not part of the list here. So I'm thinking it's probably out of stock. There's a nice orange one though here. But yes, that is the situation right now with the merch, with the Bloodhunt Blood Orange. But that is just the small potato updates for everyone. Now we're getting into the news of the week. Yes, the December update. On Monday, we got the patch notes that let us know exactly what's happening. And as usual, you should know we will be going through the patch notes line by line. And we're going to go through this. There we go. December update patch notes. I read it so you don't have to. And it has not how can I say this? No, I don't know what's the right expression, but I have noticed that that some people have put out their opinions out there, did not read the notes line by line, and I will do so right now with you. So let's go through this. Okay. Hello Bloodhunt community, it has been a minute and we are super happy to be back with this December update. This update contains a lot of cool new things that we think you will enjoy, but let us talk about something that many of you have been asking for a long time, the new Ventrue archetype. The Ventrue Warden archetype. The Warden is now joining the fight using their ability to dominate minds to control their enemies. This new archetype also comes with a new power, Shackles, which lets you anchor your enemies into a spot, mentally chaining them to a small area of their current location. Enemies are still able to move, but if they stray too far, they will get punished with damage and a brief period of slowed down movement. Using this power on mortal charms them for a duration at a reduced cooldown rate of 50% of the ability. Interesting. I don't think I've seen necessarily people use that on mortals, only on enemies. I'll have to look into this. The Warden also has a passive ability, Resilience, which keeps the Warden combat ready by automatically replenishing armor when feeding or diablerizing. This potentially leaves you with more spare armors to share with your teammates. Now, before delving forward into this, now we know that that was indeed the reveal of what exactly the frosty type of spoiler that they showed us last Friday, which was, we were speculating, was it a new ability, was it a new weapon, was it a new archetype? It turns out it was a new archetype. It was the fabled second Ventrue archetype that we had learned has been existed for quite a while in the background, but they had to put aside because there were other urgent issues that had to be dealt with, and they had to push the playtesting back for a while. Now it's perfect that they are bringing us a frosty character just in time for the frosty times. That's great. I want to point out about the Warden. If you want to know more about because this is a very summary description of the Warden. If you want to know more about the Warden, there's Motion Gaming that has done a quick little video to explain the new archetype, how they work. Is very, very quick and easy, very well explained. Like, good job, Motion, explaining this archetype. If you want the basics explained to you, Motion does a very good job. And also, you should keep an eye on Motion Gaming as well on his YouTube or Twitter. He should be. He said he should have a tips and tricks video soon, so keep an eye out for that. No, I'll mention this later. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it's a little bit like. Okay, we're continuing on the patch. On top of a new archetype, the December update also brings you with a new hefty free battle pass to sink your teeth into. We saw this image. It is the cosmetics, so beautiful. French kiss. A new full permanent battle pass, and there's an asterisk on the permanent here. Vanity comes back with a vengeance with our free Nemesis pass, jam-packed with 100 tiers. With our most visually appealing apparel yet, vampiric paraphernalia adapted for self-worship, so you can clad your vampire in regal darkness. There's the darkness that had been previously hinted at. ranging from delectably stylish Toreador haute couture to a latex royal decadence. Yes, 8 outfits, 7 masks, 6 eyewears, 8 makeups, 5 piercings, 4 tattoos, 10 emotes, 12 player avatars, 12 player banners. Now for the asterisk. A permanent battle pass means that it no longer has a visible expiry date. This, among other reasons, is to prevent any future potential misunderstandings about when a new update might arrive. Now, First of all, 100 tier battle pass. Big win. We had been waiting for this. Give us a big chunky battle pass. We have been wanting this. I think everyone is happy. So far, all of the cosmetics that I have seen and that people have been displaying, everyone seems to be like jaw on the floor, like good job, really good job at the Bloodhunt team. This is fantastic. I know that some people are just like, yeah, could you use a different color or this or that? Don't worry, recolors, they might be happening soon. Like we're and sometimes we're fine with recolors, okay? Sometimes recolors fit, sometimes are, customization ideas. So like I know that some of them have issues with certain colors, but that's fine. Okay, you're gonna be the people that are gonna be happy whenever they issue recolors, if ever. Keep that in mind. Yes. So battle pass, Nemesis pass. Everyone seems to like it. I would like also to point your attention to Bloodhunt Fashion, who has wait, there we go, it's here. Bloodhunt Fashion has put out a video with all the outfits, cosmetics, and emotes about the Nemesis update. There's like, you'll see there's a bunch of timestamps here, going through everything and displaying them on different characters, just to see how the things look like. Just taking the time to put this together. They're the only one. Bloodhunt Fashion's the only person that is taking the time to show this and display this for everyone. So, you should. If ever someone's on the fence about like what kind of fashion is inside the battle pass, should they come back to the game, link them that video, and you'll see everything that's in there. If that doesn't convince, if all the swag that's in there, everything that they put in there, it like doesn't convince the person to get the game. Also, it's free. Let's repeat this. Like all of this is fire, and this is all free. I don't think I put a I don't think I put a tweet about this, but some people have noticed that the quality of some of the stuff that's in the battle pass is the kind of stuff that I believe the best quote was like, other companies would have us put up a second mortgage to be able to afford all those cosmetics, but now they're just giving them to us. Just play the game. I have to agree with that. Like some of those cosmetics are like absolute fire, and totally they could have taken the greedy road and put some of the awesome ones and put them in the shop, and put like a lot of this in the shop and have watered down versions of this inside the pass, and just have like some neat ones at the end, and that would have been it. But they didn't, because as I've previously stated, the money isn't the issue. What else did I want to mention about this? No, that's it. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little spread all over my notes here because I'm jumping from one thing to the other. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. There we go. The other thing that has not, the other thing that's not been mentioned here, in this display is that we are getting a insane amount of tokens. Sorry, there we go. 804,000 tokens. If you know anything about the shop that is inside the game, that is absolutely crazy. The amount of tokens that we're getting for this, insane. Just giving us free money. Let's go. No, absolutely not. I'm not interested. Bye. All right. Okay, we're gonna continue with what we're reading here. So, that's the other issue, not issue, but the first thing that people like to ask or complain about is this explanation here that says that the battle pass does not have an expiry date. We'll get back to that later when we're going to be talking about the community feedback from it. On top of this, we made improvements to the store and the amounts of content within. Let's look at those. Store improvements. Our transition from a temporary flash store with a limited number of temporary items to a permanent store has now been completed with this update. That is an interesting sentence, meaning that what we got in the last previous updates, the September and October update, were transitional states of moving into a permanent store. Interesting. As many people have suggested, we have now probably what they already had in mind, and that we can see here. They've added categories for easier navigation, so you can find what type of vanity you want. One category for headgear, one for makeup, and so on. Additionally, we have populated each category with a larger stock to choose from, more than doubling the amount of items compared to before. In general, yeah, there's some things that come back. There's some things that have interesting recolors. I'd say like there's a nice pale blue wintry recolors for some outfits that I personally feel like it's very welcome. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of new things in there. Not incredibly, not like a huge like doubling amount of newish new stuff all the time, but you know, for now, having all of this organized, I think is good enough for the moment. I know that some people have been asking for more. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in the future. You're gonna hear that sentence a lot. We also have a new weapon being added with this update, a melee weapon that is also throwable and that has poison on top of that. And yes, these are the dual daggers. They are small but deadly daggers that have a swift attack and apply poison to each hit, which deals lingering damage over a few seconds. The daggers are also throwable, giving you a bit of range to put pressure on your enemies as you close in on them. There is no limit to how many times they can be thrown, but there is a cooldown once thrown. So these weapons were highly requested by the community. Like a long time. Like personally, originally I didn't see like the point of it, but there was enough people that have been requesting throwable weapons and weapons that have a poison damage or something like that, to have a dot. That is not the regular crossbow, which does a damage over time effect. But there you go. There you have it. I haven't played with it. Some people are very happy with this. Some people are wondering why, and not, and especially why not a new ranged weapon. We'll get back to that. Weapon balancing. Balancing is always important, and with this update, we have adjusted two of our weapons, the dual crossbows as well as the Tommy gun. Dual crossbows, fire rate decreased. Now we've all been waiting for a nerf on the dual crossbows. Here's what they have to say. The dual crossbows have been getting some more usage by players, but the payoff is a little too high for the effort. The lowered fire rate will put the overall DPS down slightly, while still leaving it with good potential DPS on direct hits. Now, if you are in the unfortunate situation of getting incoming dual crossbow fire, you should be able to get out of trouble before the next salvo. We appreciate that inside the community, but immediately, the immediate feedback has been, okay, we notice that there's been a nerf, but the nerf hasn't been enough. And so I hope that the feedback that you've been putting out to the devs, at least the feedback that I've seen, is just, nah, you needed a bigger nerf than that. We'll see how that happens. We'll see how that goes. If you want more information about balance, yeah, exactly, Muckright. They nearly feel the same to you. We can tell that there's been a little nerf. We can tell, but the nerf has not been enough. But if you want to know more about balance and balancing weapons and all that sort of stuff regarding balance and numbers and all those things, Motion Gaming is a person that you should go follow. He is the numbers guy. He's the balance guy. There we go. There we go. Motion Gaming's Twitch channel is linked in the chat right now. If ever you want to go see him, if you want to go debate the whole situation about the dual crossbows, he is the man for this. Tommy gun max spread has been reduced. The previous balancing of this weapon led to a heavily increased max spread. This has been adjusted to make this weapon a bit more viable. That is a feedback that I have heard from some players that have been ditching the Tommy gun for the LMG instead, because LMG was a little bit more precise than the Tommy gun because Tommy gun was spread too much. So that's been changed, and I hope that people are happy with it. I haven't seen it. We're gonna see. Aim assist balancing, another big ask from the community, that the aim assist felt that it was way too strong, that the game was helping you target other enemies like a lot too much, like way a lot. So apparently it's balanced. We have adjusted the aim assist on gamepad to balance the weapons where we saw an abnormal data in terms of accuracy, and make them require higher user input to stay on target. The following weapons have been tweaked based on the collected accuracy data and the community feedback: pistol, duo pistol, revolver, and assault rifle. These weapons are now better balanced when using the aim assist feature on gamepad, which puts them on a similar level to the other weapons in their respective category. Now this is interesting. We were expecting a bit of a nerf on aim assist, but now it's not just aim assist in general. Said they nerfed the aim assist on certain weapons, on specific weapons. And I know that on when you're having gamepad, controller, whatever, you are able to determine the kind of aim assist you want with every weapon that is inside the game, which is sounds like a great idea. So they've tweaked it a little bit. Community feedback immediately. Some people jumped on it, say it's still way too strong. I think we need like a few more weeks of people playing along with it to have a definitive answer from the community. But some people still feel it's a little bit too strong. Some people have been. It's kind of like the dual crossbows. Some people feel like yes, there has been a change. There's been a nerf. It's been toned down. But these people still feel like, it wasn't enough. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens with this. Gamepad improvements. Bloodhunt now supports D-pad navigation on the controller. Bloodhunt now supports DualSense touchpad swipe actions to quickly use consumables on PlayStation 5. About this, again, that's me switching around left or right. The switches to the D-pad have been noticed by a few people. Now let's see, it's this one over here. Yes. Cursed Fleshlight, god damn it, says the quick heal toolbar is delayed on PS5. Makes healing while moving near impossible. Please fix that. And Tobias answered, you can configure the D-pad delay in settings. Which, this person here, sorry, said that they really like that. And we're going to add to this Jiangxi doll, who says to people the D-pad navigation, especially bringing up your resource wheel, may feel the need to hold it down more. Here's how you need to change so it will go back to how it was in the previous updates. And she shares a screenshot that you have here, max hold time for favorite use. You can set the slider down to 0, so it can be back to exactly how it used to be before the patch. And the devs did that because there seemed to be a need for that, apparently. So anyways, there's your answer. Some people seem to really appreciate that kind of feedback on how to change those things. So there you go. That's the information. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, continuing to read. Prague map changes. Now this is something that I don't think anyone expected, because people have been asking for map changes, and we know that there hasn't been like much indication that the devs would actually do this. But no, look at this. Prague is going to look a little bit different with this update, with some environmental changes as well as a few new and changed locations for you to discover and explore. So in new or changed locations, you've got the graveyard. Graveyard has a new layout. The party boat at the harbor to help players approach the area from more angles, because you just had the water there, and the way that you would navigate over there on the map, it would feel a little bit too bottlenecked. So now we have another option of navigating in this area. I mean, navigating in terms of like players, not necessarily navigating the boat. The boat is still. Maya's Red Light Haven. The terrace has been updated with additional platforms and paths for a more engaging and balanced space. The Disco Church, we have reworked the DJ platform to provide a cleaner and clearer gameplay space. We got stuck on a lot of items that we necessarily couldn't see in the area. We also adjusted the girders to make it easier to climb between the floors and out of the church. Very much appreciated, because it was getting a little bit too complicated and a little bit frustrating when we were trying to climb inside. Additionally, we added a new basement corridor for flanking and hiding to make the space more interesting and balanced. I have not seen this yet, so I hope it's good. Old Town Square's updated layout of with a farmer's market to help players traverse the square a little bit more safely and make end fights there more interesting. A lot of people like this change. A lot. I've seen that on some streams. Entity locations. Some entity checkpoints have gotten updated layouts to balance and an improved look for world building. Interesting. And of course, the Elysium. The new music that we've announced last week in last week's news recap. Well, now it's been added in-game to Kirill's Bar and Omnis's Hovel. These new tracks are featured on the recently released soundtracks available on major streaming music platforms. So you already have those links for that from last week. There you go. Interesting thing to add, new weather scenarios. That's been also a big ask from the community. Different cloud, light, and color variations add variety to the sky and environment with each session. Weather will be randomized between 4 scenarios: blood moon, cloudy yellow sky, cloudy full moon, and storm clouds. A little bit of change to the environment, a little bit of, add a little bit of kick. I know that some people have been asking for the sun rising and all that sort of stuff. I had a few ideas about this. like that doesn't necessarily involve the sun, because the sun is like, I think the devs just like, you know, killed that as much as possible, this idea. Yeah, the rain might be Sod versus World. Yeah, the rain might be something about rain soon, because some people have noticed that there has been a little bit of snow that's been added on top of like having like holiday customizations all over the map. We have seen some holiday string lights added to different parts of different bits and parts inside the map. We've had some holiday trees also been added a little bit left and right, and also inside the Elysium. So maybe the rain at a later part, but there is a little bit of snow, little sort of little drifty snowflakes that sometimes you could see. But yeah, it's the kind of situation where the day is where it might be just like, you know, the snow disappears as it falls on the floor. That's why you don't see snow piles everywhere. So the argument that we used to say that this happens only in one evening, and lore-wise, this would be the reason why they're not adding snow directly to the game, or like holiday content inside the map of Prague. Well, that's gone out the window now, because now we've got holiday things added to the map, so there you go. That argument is now thrown out the window for any kind of celebration event that might be happening, because they did it now. So there you go. Keep that in mind. I'll have have a few things to add about this very, very soon, after I'm done talking about all this. Narrative content. New dialogue has been added for all the characters in Elysium. Conversations will unlock some additional journal entries, finally. Also, we have added some additional octahedrons, providing clues as to what is going on narratively. Anyone that's interested in the lore, there might be some new interesting things that we have to discover. Some people have noticed, me also, like while looking at a stream, that now M is now freaking Prince of Prague. That happened. We we have no indication of how that happened, but probably in these octahedrons, maybe we'll have some clues exactly as to what happened. But now she's officially the boss. She's the Prince of Prague, like starting this update. Thank you for the hydrate, Cthulhu. But again, I'll get back to that very soon, because we'll have some comments from Meradin also that we'll have to go through. So all of this that I'm mentioning, we'll have some stuff to add to those things a little bit later. So UX and interface art improvements. Most of the interfaces in the game have received major overhauls to improve the overall user experience. The common denominator for these improvements is to make the visual representations of what is going on in the game follow a more user-friendly logic, all whilst also looking very visually more pleasing. And so there's been improvements made to all of these and more. As there are many improvements to each category, we will go into detail, but we will not go into detail, but suffice to say, we believe this will help emphasize the important information of the game. So far, I've heard this from the community. A lot more things easier to find, easier to read, easier to understand on the screen. Also, game looks slick with all of the changes that they add, like all the visual improvement things that they added to the UI and the UX. I'd say that a bunch of, like, most people have been impressed and did not expect this kind of level of, you know, animations and sleekness that has been added with this update. Everyone's like really impressed by this. Anyone that cared to comment, let's just say. TDM Team Deathmatch. Players on the same team and not in your coterie in TDM will now have a blue highlight around their player model. This will help players to easier differentiate friend from foe in Team Deathmatch games. I have not heard any feedback from that, but I know that this has been a very big demand. I've seen it on screen a few times. Really appreciate Really like what I've been seeing. Now there's some graphical update in here. I absolutely do not understand any of any of what's been happening here. AMD FSR. But basically, it makes your things look nice if you're using AMD. There we go. Bug fixes. So there's a few things here. We resolved an issue with matchmaking where sometimes a player would be matched against players of a significantly different skill level, even though there were better matches available. You should now more consistently face more players on a similar skill level. This is what they were talking about when they said we are going to keep with the October update. When they said we added bots, and now we had our skill-based matchmaking that we had introduced before, and we're going to be keeping a close eye on those and how people will be put into different matches now that we have the bots as a solution. And now this is exactly what they were talking about. There is going to be tweaking. I expect that with the matchmaking here, there's going to be a lot more tweaks in the other updates to come. Like this is not a done deal necessarily. It also depends. We're gonna have different sorts of players, different sorts of play styles, experience to newbie to somewhat advanced players. They're gonna have a lot more data to parse through until they get the matchmaking done, like, you know, to a T. So this, I feel like you should read this as this is like another step into further polishing the matchmaking. Various performance improvements. Yes, some people have. I know that some people have said that some of the servers have not seen much of an improvement, but there's some people in the community that have said that suddenly, like, there has been performance improvements, and I've not been complaining about FPS or some measures as much as they used to. I kept a tab on a few people. Sometimes when you were pressing the ready button several times in a row, the game would display a waiting timer, but did not actually place you in a queue for a match, and subsequently meant that you missed that match. This is no longer an issue. That was a frustrating bug that happened once in a while. It was very confusing when we were watching streams, where it's just like, you're in a match? Wait, no, I'm not in a match. I'm still in the Elysium. Well, I got a match. It's because of that. We didn't know, but now we know. Some pesky quests that did not display as corrected would now correctly do so. Yay! I've not heard anyone say anything about this. Just a couple people saying that, oh, wait a second, all my quests are back. Hooray! Finally, that happened. It took several months, but now we got them back. Fix bullet VFX issue where the origin was incorrect and looked as if bullets came from behind a character model. That was something that I heard people complain about before. And we fixed the bug where the player could perform a double jump movement, causing significant desync issues. Keep that in mind. We will talk about this later. This has been a very controversial topic. We're going to delve into this later. Stick a pin in this. Movement improvement. We have resolved several environmental bugs across Prague, resulting in a lot smoother traversal and less chance of getting stuck. A lot of the fallen down, grates and barriers that were in the street, and that suddenly you were in a battle, and then suddenly you got stuck on something, and you're just like, why am my character not moving? A bunch of those have been removed. I know that there's been a couple of ambassadors that have been pointing out to which ones specifically needed to be changed or removed or whatever. Apparently some of them are definitely gone now, so that's good. Happy holidays. To conclude, there was a lot of new exciting stuff for you to unpack. We hope that you enjoyed this December update, all the contents inside, and lastly, we would like to wish you all happy holidays. See you at dusk. That is a part of what's been added to the game. Is it may not seem like a lot on paper when you're looking at it like this, but when you have the game loaded up, I know that I haven't loaded mine, but I've seen other people load up theirs. It's been a lot of changes. Absolutely has been a lot. Yes, I will get to that, Markrai. So, first of all, I would like to add to this. And some people have been noticing, we are missing a trailer again for this update, and this is a huge update. Like, you know, no one can deny that this has been a huge update, and that we don't have a trailer is a little bit why? So again, I think that I have to call on to you, the community. This is just me. We need videos. We need TikToks. We need YouTube shorts. I saw that Bloodhunt Fashion made a quick YouTube short to kind of feature the new update and the battle pass. But yeah, we need to spread the word about this update, especially because we're gonna have I know that some people are working this upcoming week and some of them are not, but yeah, we're getting the holidays are there. Some people are getting new PCs, some people are getting new PS5s, some people are coming back to the game. People need to hear about this update. So if anyone has some video skills to put a trailer together or something like that, or put like a little feature, like a short could also be good. Like, yeah, exactly, for real. Like, we need some voices out there. I don't know if I I just forgot to write it down, but I will make myself like I'm gonna make myself a little holiday promotional tweet for Bloodhunt that I'm gonna put out there and see if we can get some more people out there. Yeah, I think that's something that's missing, and that would help promote the game and get more people inside here. But I can tell you about this, just in general about the December update. The reaction in general from the community has been overwhelmingly positive. And I think that is Viken that has recently come back to the game, but in a, semi-permanent position. Like, he's not staying on Bloodhunt only this time. He said that this should have been the season 2 patch for the game. Like, he said, this, like, with the amount of content that's in there and the quality of the content, like this feels like, this is the actual, like, there was the season 1 patch would have been like the summer update. The summer update was a big chunky one, and this also feels like the second big major significant patch for the game. Yes, exactly. The player base has been increased since the update. It's pain. The double jump has been removed. I'll be talking about this a little bit later, because there's a few things that people need to understand. Yes, also about this patch, the feedback that I've been seeing, at least like on different parts of the internet, some people have been saying, "Wait a second, a free battle pass? You got me in. You got me at free battle pass." And I've been thinking, like, okay, there's new people. There are new people coming into the game all the time. That's a reminder for everyone in the community. There's new people coming to the game. So they might not know what we've been knowing for the last year and a few months. The people have been there since the early access. We know a lot about the game. So there's some things that maybe new people don't know. For instance, that while apparently the fact that it's a free battle pass is getting some people in, just don't mention them that the September and the October updates also had free passes. So yeah, some people did not know. The number, like I said, the number of free tokens that we're getting from this battle pass is absolutely insane. We also got a few more free items to sweeten the deal. I'm going to talk about them in a second. There are some sticking points, however, like, even though like everyone's been saying this is a big win, big W patch, There are some sticking points, some little controversies. We're going to be talking about, not little controversies, there are controversies, but I'm going to talk about them later. And also the introduction of the new archetype has been generally has been well received. Of course, time will tell as we are playing out through the game, through the holidays. We'll see what kind of meta will emerge from this. So far, it doesn't look like it's breaking anything. We're not getting the old enforcer meta that used to be very egregious. On a personal note, when I heard or like stipulated like many months ago that when I heard that there was going to be a second Ventrue, I knew that they were going to go with freezing. It was clear that Ventrue is made for crowd control because of the description that they made from it, that it is a dominating force inside the battlefield and controls the battles. So it's going to have like some crowd control feature. Now, I knew from other games that frost or freezing would probably be something that they would tackle. And I was scared originally when I heard about this because I thought of original May in Overwatch, and I thought of the introduction of stasis in Destiny 2. They were not things that a lot of people liked, especially in a movement action game. I was scared about it, but I was happy to see that the freeze isn't like completely like stopping your character. It's just a slowdown mechanism, and that I really appreciated. I'm sorry, hold on a second. Just gonna catch up on chat right now. Cousin Joyboy, thank you for chatting for first time. Not being able to play with friends on other platform hurt the games for me. I have one friend on PC and all others are on console. They know that. The devs know that. We all know this. I was in the same boat. All of my friends on PS5. I'm on the only one on PC. Yeah. Then I find some people I have fun with, try to add them, sister never finds their name, always end up queuing at randoms, that's just not fun. Yeah, the devs know about this. I don't know, No, I don't think I mentioned this anywhere else, so I will repeat it here. Originally, the what I call I'll call it true crossplay, because when people say like, does this game have crossplay, there is some level of crossplay that exists. I believe it's in trios and duos that you will have PC and PS5 in different, like in their own teams, that you'll be able to be inside the same match/battlefield. But true crossplay, to be able to like join up in parties of PC and PS5 together, that is still not there. That is something that the devs said that they originally wanted to have for the original launch of the games, but ran out of time to add it for the launch. And so after the launch, there's been several issues and problems that have been taking like first spot on the priority list. And from what I've seen or read between the lines, adding true crossplay is not a simple thing. It seems to require a lot of time and resources to do it right. Because think of like, if you know about the game, there are some connectivity issues and weirdnesses that happens in terms of partying up and entering the match and crossplay and all of this. I don't know if any of these issues have any impact on adding a new layer of complexity with like the true crossplay, as I call it. But yeah, in a recent update, they said that it is adding crossplay, like full crossplay to the game, is not something that's been shelved. It's not something that is never going to happen. They said that it's just in response to the feedback of people that said we needed to add to the game. They said, we understand you, but right now we can't. That was the right now part of the sentence that a lot of people skipped over. But yeah, they did say that right now we couldn't. So it's still maybe something in the future. When they're going to be able to add it, for real, like trust that you will know about it, because so many people have been asking for it for such a long time. But we have to just, there's no other thing than we just have to leave that in the devs' hands. When you're giving your feedback, when the surveys are being posted on all of this, keep reminding them that this is still a top priority for you, and maybe at some point they will find in their list of things to work on, maybe it'll finally at some point get pushed in first priority. There are reasons why they haven't like put it in the game right now, but we have to trust them on this. There's no other thing. They said that it's still a big ask for the community, it's a big want, and they themselves want to add it to the game. It's just they have to find the right time. And you know, it's not just a question of time, it's a question of resources and plans and all of this. So it's much more complicated than just like, hey, devs, add it. But they know. No more double jump. They fixed the chandelier in the Elysium. Yeah. Can't jump on the bracers either. Maybe someone will change that, because some people like doing that, or maybe have a little bit more activities maybe in the Elysium maybe in the future. Like those jumping puzzles could be like purposely jumping puzzles could probably be something to do. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna get back to double jump a little bit later. I also want to point out, just because it's something to mention, that we also did receive an email from Shark Mob to if you were in the if you had signed up to receive emails from Shark Mob or like Bloodhunt updates, you did receive an email to announce the update. I found it in my junk mail, weirdly enough, but it still got there. It did talk about the updates. It mentioned the soundtracks and also the Blood Orange drink and Advanced GG. Just putting that out there because I need to mention that for historical purposes. Anyways. So I did mention Bloodhunt Fashion's Nemesis Pass video. I did mention motion gaming about the Warden. Here's another thing. There we go. Battle Pass video. We did this. Ambassador. Or at least I thought it was Ambassador. I'm not sure. I don't see his name anymore. But like made I need to confirmation about this. But Neoneko has made has been invited to the playtesting with the other ambassadors and the game devs and the testers to go test out the patch beforehand. And I'm mentioning this because he gives at the same time gives a little bit of information, also spends a bit of time talking about his own opinion. He's still listed as an ambassador Bloodhunt Discord. Okay, thank you, Markrai. Because I thought that his title had switched around in some places. Thank you. I want to point it out because he mentions 3 very interesting details that we are not finding anywhere else. First of all, Prophet, thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting first time in here. Just got into this game last night, loving it so far. Awesome concept. It is one of the best BRs that's out there. Probably the best that's out there. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Welcome to the game and welcome to the community. We hope that there's going to be like a lot of things in the future. Thank you for the follow, Cousin Joyboy, as well. Love you, appreciate you. Now, getting back to what I was saying, the 3 things. Remember what I said about the 4 different colors for the sky and the environment. Thank you, Prophet, for the follow. Neoneko adds that the devs have confirmed that thunder and lightning storms are being worked on. So that's interesting. Maybe thunder and lightning storms, maybe for something that's maybe like around spring would make sense to have that. Theory. That's a theory. Another thing, he mentions at the end of his video that he has confirmation from the devs. I've mentioned this like a while ago from some people that have mentioned this, but he confirms it that the devs have told them that they have plans to continue working on the game throughout 2023. They have plans. They have things for 2023. He said, like, you know, he's about to say also 2024, but let's not get too excited. Let's make sure that we get through 2023. They have plans. They like, you know, it's not because the team has been reduced in some ways that we don't know exactly what they are, that it means that there's no more people that are working, or there's a handful of people that are working on Bloodhunt. Okay, I've talked about this last week. If you want to go see it, it's in my VODs, it's in my YouTube. We talked about how there's absolutely, like, people spreading rumors that there's 2 people, there's 5 people, there's 3 people working on Bloodhunt from now. That is absolutely incorrect. The game would not be alive. The servers would not be plugged in if only 5 people worked on the game. That is ridiculous. So yeah, there's another that's an ambassador letting us know there are plans throughout 2023 that he's been made aware of. So it's still happening. Bloodhunt is still on the menu, boys. And also the first one to actually confirm it, he mentions new ranged weapons are being worked on right now. For the people that were a little bit that were a bit sad to see the new melee weapon, fret not. New range weapons coming in soon. Of course, soon TM. But they are being worked on. So you've got confirmation from someone that knows this, that they're being worked on. Be happy. Spread the word. Thank you, Prophet. I appreciate that. So I've talked about the controller tips for the D-pad. There we go. Lore updates from Meradin. While not necessarily going into detail, hold on just a second. I need to look at something real quick. There you go. Okay, getting a bunch of notifications. Okay, as well, that normally happens. Yes, so Meradin, as we all know, our lore guy, and lore and quest guy, pays attention to the quests. So here's a few things, a quick rundown, like first glance of everything that Meradin gives us in bullet point fashion. We're gonna read here. Quick rundown for those who share my particular interest in Bloodhunt. There are no new quests yet. They do like to pop new ones mid-season sometimes. That is indeed true. So I was also a little bit sad that we didn't already get new quests right off the bat, but you never know. They like to be sneaky when it comes to quests. Some story progression via NPC in the conversations. Not sure how extensive yet. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna look into this. New set of clue octahedrons. No new story intel ones. Okay, but clue octahedrons. Love this. Love this. This is fun. New journal entries for dual daggers, Camarilla Keshki, Warden, and cultists. Dual daggers entry name drops Fatima El Fakadi. I will leave Meradin, if Meradin you're ever watched this or you're ever interested in watching this. I hope you are. I will leave that entirely up to you to let us know exactly who that person is. I feel like that's someone that is important in the Vampire the Masquerade lore. It's not the first time that a VTM an important VTM character has been mentioned in the lore before. I believe the other one that was mentioned was about Kirill's specific situation, which was very, very interesting. Motion Gaming, hello! I've name dropped you a bunch of times. I've told people to go watch your video and watch your content about Bloodhunt. I've also mentioned that I still hope you're on track to do the quick tips and tricks video about the Warden. So I told everyone to look forward to that. Yeah, absolutely. So I can't do any more posture check. I'm standing. I'm This is a standing desk right now. I can't do boss. Artie. So the hydrate. Okay, well, okay. Let's go with the hydrate. There we go. The flex hydrate. Finished writing the script earlier. There you go. Motion gaming. He's in there. Let's do freaking. There we go. Shout out motion gaming. Will this work? Will this work? I never know if it works. Username. What? No, at the end there. Does this work? There we go. Shout out to motion gaming. You've got the little like button there. Okay, so continuing what I was reading here. New journal unlocks for existing entries. The extent is known at the moment. I've been complaining about this. There's a lot of journal entries that are locked and just say talk to the NPCs, and we're talking to the NPCs and nothing's unlocked. So again, this is a reminder for the people who have been talking about the longevity of the game. Again, like I said last week, there are still some zones and areas inside the Elysium that we know are locked and that have not been unlocked, and there's some story to be discovered there. And we also know that in the journal, you can unlock journal entries up to a certain point, but there's still more to come, letting us know that there are still some more journal entries that are planned in the future. So keep that in mind. And finally, Carte Blanche Part 5, the octahedron is finally fixed, so we can now go south of the Divine Disco and find the octahedron that was missing, and we'll finally get the last bit of lore. You'll get your mastery completed, and you'll be getting the nice icon to go with the banner, and we'll finally discover what's the nice secret juicy bit that's missing about M's story. I can't wait to get in game to go and find that. I'm very excited. And some interesting new things in Elysium aside from decorations. New little details in most of the areas. Nothing big, just fun. Can't wait to see this. Doesn't seem to be nothing much new in store. The old stuff is up though, which is still good. Just wanted to actually buy something actually new to buy. We've discussed about this. This is like this. It's fine. The store is fine. We hope we're getting some new stuff eventually in the future. Who are like the meta right now in the current build? Motion is the person to let you know. I'm still on the let's see what we're gonna see in the future. We still need like the game to play out a little bit. In a few weeks we will discover the new meta will emerge eventually. Oh, and one thing that no one has mentioned, in some quests that required another quest to be completed before so you can continue progressing on that quest, now they've added a line in the UI to let you know, complete this part of this other quest chain to further unlock this quest chain. It finally was added inside the game. So no more asking left and right and thinking that quests are bugged when they're actually not. I mean, sometimes they are, but now everyone knows exactly what's happening with the quests and how to unlock them and how to push them further. So that's great. Next up, we had Tracker Network, Tracker.gg, as we know them. They've been hyping up the Battle Pass, and that was on December 13. They were hyping up the new Battle Pass that was the December update in the Battle Pass that was out, and they said, prepare a surprise tomorrow. A surprise, you say? Let me put the link here again. Well, yes, by now, everyone should know that there's a Tracker Network reward that you can get for Bloodhunt. And basically, it is the holiday headgear that you see here, which I called the Yeah, it's the Christmas Spirit Legendary Headgear. I call it the Goth Reindeer. So Goth Reindeer headgear. There you go. All you need to do, you need to follow the instructions. Basically, you go on the Bloodhunt tracker. Here, you have to make sure that you've got yourself an account. You've got an account made, and then you can click on the little gift here, and you will be able, in the rewards here, you'll see here, you'll be able to claim. It'll show you a code. Right now it says not because I've already claimed it. If you have a little bit of if you already like mistakenly claimed it and you don't see the code because this normally goes away, make sure you click on the claim tab here, and you will see your code displayed properly, so you can go copy paste it. That's the next step. You can go on the Bloodhunt website where you will log in, and you'll be able to go click in the redeem code section. Gonna claim it here. But most of the people that are in this channel know about redeeming codes because you've been getting a lot of codes from me and you've been able to claim them. Anyways, about this, specifically, some people were having issues in regards to this. Here we go. And Tobias let us know that he poked the people from Tracker GG. The codes are saved for everyone who experienced an issue, and they will contact you guys whenever there's a fix for it. So if you had an issue with claiming those, yeah, you're gonna be contacted about this. Another thing. Thank you, Markrai, for mentioning. Yes, purple paint jacket, candy kid eyeglasses after this broadcast, after I'm done recording. As a general rule of thumb, also, I didn't save this apparently, but if you want to claim this code on the Tracker GG network, try to do this with web-based. Don't try to do it through mobile. Do it on a PC or your PC or whatever. Apparently, there seems to be some kind of weirdness happening with mobile. So if you can avoid going through mobile to go through this, go do it. Everyone that's been doing it on PC hasn't had like any issues. Only if they managed to claim it on mobile. Just as a word of warning. And another free thing that happened. Oh, look, it just happened to pop up on my TV behind me as well. We got a community festive gift from Bloodhunt that decided to give us, I believe, yes. So basically what you're seeing right there, these two awesome costumes. And also, I didn't get the name because, as previously stated, I haven't logged in the game yet, so I don't know what's the name of the outfits. Apologies. However, you can see here, XV Offline actually took some pictures because a lot of people just said like, oh yeah, we're getting new awesome things. But if you look at the tweet, it says new in-game vanity items for your vampires. XV Offline took some pictures of them. We also have the burnished blue hair color. Blue hair color! Ah! My God, we've been waiting for blue hair color for a while. But now, yes, we got it. Not only do we have it, but it's also free. It is. You just have to log in. By the way, yes, I've done mention. You just have to log inside the game, and you'll be getting the two outfits, the hair color, and also the man-eater mask that you see here, which is one of the most like freaking awesome masks we've seen in the game. Certainly unique. But yeah, all those are free. You log in; they're already inside your accounts. Happy holidays. Thank you, Bloodhunt. We were like, no one was expecting this. No one was expecting this. So think about this. The free battle pass with a whole bunch of customization, 8,400 tokens, free, plus all those free things, plus the goth reindeer mask. Just throwing as many things as possible. Come play the game. It like, make sure you mention all of these things to your friends, or just like send them to this recording. So yes, you get an item, you get an item, everyone gets an item for free. Play the game, just log in. Maybe I'm gonna actually get my best friend to play this game. You know, I've been like hyping it for over a year. Maybe they'll finally log in one day. Or even watch my streams. So moving on to the more community debates, hot topics, conversation pieces that have been happening since we got this update. First of all, let's post this here. As usual, we have an update. We have a survey. Link to click in the survey. It's a Survey Monkey. People have been wondering, why exactly only 3 days? The patch was on Tuesday, and now on Thursday, well, 3 days, you know, 2 days, 3 days. Hey Juka, how you doing, man? Yeah, people were wondering exactly why so short a time? Why so short a time? Me including myself, because this is a very busy time of the year. Not like only will have some time to actually look at the update, as I would say a majority of people will only have time to look at all different sorts of games and updates only during the weekend. And as previously stated in the previous survey, they had amended it to be much longer, so everyone had an experience to play it through the weekend, and so you'd have better or more feedback on the update. So a lot of people were confused about this, but there was a posting that was made here that said, "Greetings, Kindred. We are wrapping things up before the holidays, hence our need to get your feedback in early. We ask for your early thoughts. Thank you." Now, some people said, like, oh, okay, so it's only, like, there's a bunch of, like, negative kind of feedback or, you know, speculations about all of this. Personally, this means that they didn't get any feedback from me. I didn't have the time to play the patch, so feedback from me, I didn't fill out the survey. Like, it's not happening. So, yeah. Some people thought that maybe just the Mokrai didn't either. Okay. Some people thought, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get like a bunch of people hyped so they can give us hype feedback, and not just like, here's the issues about the game, because we didn't have the time to run into the issues. I don't think that is necessarily the reason, because when they gather feedback, hold on, let me find this. I just want to make sure. There we go. Here's an explanation, because some people were asking about this and the feedback and the learnings articles. You know, again, some people asking, are the learnings articles with feedback from the community actually from the real community? Because there's the things that I asking for and that I'm not seeing in the, like, that you're actually changing because I requested it. They're not actually from the community. And Tobias had to, again, mention the learning articles based on player data, acquisition/retention, for example, survey feedback, and overall community sentiment across channels. Some people still need to hear this, but even though the mods aren't necessarily super active in a lot of discussions that are happening inside the Bloodhunt Discord, they are paying attention to what people are saying. Community management means that you have to look at every bit of feedback. Even the people that decide to pay to post like an entire essay on feedback that is, by the way, totally not necessary to post. Help the people, help the devs. Don't need to post an essay on why you think that, I don't know, that player levels need to be fixed for some reason. Like they still will have to read everything because that's how community management and that's how feedback works. They need to read, they need to gather, they need to pick apart every bit of feedback that people are putting out there. So they are reading everything, they are seeing everything. Just as a reminder that people that are saying like they're not seeing our feedback, they are, and they have to. It is literally their jobs to go through all of this. Now, the decision on what to do with that feedback, that is another thing. Okay? So, just to like curb what people's expectations or takes on this are, I want to point out simply that they're saying, we ask for your early thoughts. They are aware that this is asking in a short amount of time. They know this. They've heard the feedback from other people that have been saying, like me, I haven't even had time to play the patch yet. I won't before the survey ends. Why not make the survey like open up longer? There might be reasons for this, but they are aware that these are early thoughts. Not saying that any kind of feedback that will be posted about this will be ignored like after that. Just want to add that in. Also, I don't think I put a picture of that either. Hold on. I wanted to point out because I had a glance inside the survey. There we go. That's not the best screenshot, but let's go with this. Can we see it on screen? There we go. It's not necessarily what's been in white. That's because of the way that my screenshot was taken. We've got the usual 4 questions, and then the next page is like there's a box. Put your feedback in, freestyle it as much as you want, as we usually have. But I want to bring the attention to the question number 3 here, which is a free battle pass is important for me. Now that's a question that we have not seen before, as far as memory goes, which I thought was interesting. Apparently, from what the feedback I've seen like online, there's a lot of people that have been going like, yes, free battle pass, absolutely, count me in. Like, put me in, coach, I'm downloading this game. Because they just discovered there's a free battle pass, and the items of the battle pass are awesome. So I'm going to be interested in seeing if, in the future, if they're going to give a little bit of feedback on this. Motion, I'd rather pay for a battle pass and they put in more into advertising to new players rather than returning players. That is a point of view. That is a point of view. We'll have to see. I haven't seen a lot of people like go with this take of like, I'd rather pay for a battle pass. I have not seen this yet, so so far it's just been like POG free battle pass. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like we've accumulated, maybe we've gotten so much so many tokens, maybe they now will go with like a small fee, like with the what was it, the summer update, where the fee for the battle pass was reduced to 500 tokens, which was barely anything when you compare to all the other battle passes that exist both in like console, PC, and mobile gaming. A $5 battle pass is absolutely nothing, and maybe that's something that they could do. We're gonna see. It depends. So far, it seems like the free battle pass is, all of this is debatable. Like there's variables in all of this that we have to take into consideration for all of this. I get it, But if the battle pass, the fact that the battle pass is free is enough to get some people interested, I don't know. We're gonna see. What's next? What's next? Okay. Is it? No, it's not that one. All right. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused in all my things here. All right. I want to bring up the. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, it's gonna be this one. And this one. And this one. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna bring in some screenshots. So yeah, the other point of discussion, which at the same time surprises me and at the same time really doesn't, is that some people came in with the expectations that apparently we're expecting the bots to be removed from the game because they assume bots got so much negative feedback or negative attention. And certainly when some people learned that there were bots inside the game, people stood on the sidelines and were just like, lol, bots, I'm not playing. And so people were expecting to come inside the to load up the December update and expecting the bots to be removed. As I've mentioned previously in several recap videos that I've been doing here, that is not the point of the bots. The point of the bots was not as a way to bring people back inside the game. Absolutely not. The bots were a way to backfill games in order to shorten queue times for a majority of players and a majority of game modes. They are absolutely they're absolutely not going away. The way that they've been added and the reasons why the bots have been added, they're not going away. So if you're a person that assumes or that expects the bots to be removed from the game at any point in time, accept that they are there. Accept that they are there. There has been an interesting conversation on the Discord with Tobias that did mention a few things. Hold on. Let me again make sure that I'm presenting them in the correct order. There we go. Because some people were asking about the ratio of bots to players and maybe extending the amount of time for the queue time, because right now we are pretty much guaranteed at 2.5 minutes to get a lobby started. But here's a bit of the answers from Tobias about this. He says, with the current player base, it's either extended waiting times for all, which is a major contributor to a decrease in player retention, or higher counts of bots per match, but improve retention. So they decided to. What he's saying there is that he much prefer having player retention, basically more players playing the games if we have lower queue times, which unfortunately means having more bots than people inside the matches. That is what they're going with, and that's how you feel more comfortable with. Because basically what they're saying is like, increase the wait time and you'll get even less people playing the game. That is the way that things are balancing right now. Further into this conversation, there's Nevi that asked about increasing the queue limit to 3 minutes instead of 2.5 minutes. Tobias says, thanks for the feedback. It's a bit problematic. While some people indeed will find this acceptable, waiting a bit longer, globally, this has proven to be a detractor to player retention. We continue to monitor community feedback / data, and we'll certainly consider yours as well. Because there are some people that have been coming out of the woodwork that's been saying, increase the queue time. If we get to play with more people, we would like that. He's still saying that no, actually, if you increase it, more people will leave than you will actually gain people. The continuation, the conversation followed up with Tobias saying, I understand that indeed 3 minutes would suit your needs and opinion. Game designers need to consider the wider player audience when making decisions in these matters. And as mentioned, when looking at the wider audience's feedback and actions, even with waiting times around 2.5 minutes, players will abort/cancel queuing, leading to a dip in player count, however. So basically, what he's saying here is that 2.5 minutes is the sweet spot to keep as many players in the queues as possible, in terms of, like, you know, if your queue goes long, because it's possible sometimes you may immediately get inside a match or within 30 seconds. Like in peak times, this is normal to get inside a lot of games. But past 2.5 minutes, that's when players start going, wait a second, what's happening with the queue? You know, because usually when you queue, you kind of queue and you do another thing and you just kind of wait. It's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen at some point. It's fine. I'm just going to do a thing. I'm going to change my character's hair color. I'm just going to jump around inside the Elysium, talk with chat, talk with friends or whatever. And then the queue's going to pop. It's not going to take a lot of time. But after 2.5 minutes, that's when people will go like, wait a second, this is taking too long for me to get inside a game. I need to check the queue counter. I need to unqueue, requeue. I need to do something else. I don't want to wait too much. With the data that they have seen, and they have quite an extensive like amount of data about player behavior when queuing. This is Tobias, like, with all of this conversation, this is confirming that the sweet spot is 2.5 minutes. Will this conversation go further? We're gonna see. And I know it's a little bit of hold on, I was saying, I thought the bots were there to pad my stats. Mockery. Mockery. Come on. Yes. And so that is a little bit of clickbait that I put if you were looking at my Twitter. I did mention there is a way to remove bots from a game, and here's how you do it. You have players play the game. More players queue inside the match, and you get less bots. I know this sounds like absolutely revolutionary and all of this, but here's the thing. I know it's surprising. Riots. Okay, so here's the thing. And I'm saying this about, like, because I've seen this in streams. I've seen this on comments. You know, the people that are looking into this and going like, are there still many bots inside the game? Or looking at the game, seeing there are bots, are just like bots, lol. It's a bunch of people that are standing on the sidelines of the pool, waiting. They're not even looking into dipping their big toe inside the pool to see like what's the water. They rather just like look and see if the water looks at a suitable temperature. Okay. What these people need to do is just jump in and play the game. The bots are there if there's not enough people playing the game at that certain place and time that is happening. But if we get people that are actually jumping in, lol bots are going away, you get more people in. So if ever you find yourself in a situation where people are going lol bots, or, you know, need to remove bots, just tell them, play the game, jump in with us. Like right now, we're getting some more and more concurrent players playing the game. I think it was Samir and Kinagi, so Combat and Kinagi, that were in the same stream together, and that said, like, if we get around 2,000 concurrent players, queues would not be an issue. bots would certainly not be an issue, and we would get, you know, the devs actually look into, like, maybe let's finally look into competitive game mode. Let's look into ranked, because we're gonna have enough people to sustain this kind of like gameplay and activity inside the game. But we're kind of halfway there. They said, like, we need double that amount of people, and all the concerns of the community, the major concerns of the community in terms of queues and population and all this, all of that would go away, plus we'd get benefits. Let's trash talk the game to prevent anyone from joining. Yeah, exactly. That is contrary to what we need to do. I understand that some people are frustrated, and I understand that some people see people like me that try to have like not necessarily like an unrealistic view of the game. I will always say this. I'm not a person that is doing good with toxic positivity. You know, the devs can do no wrong and don't worry, everything's fine type of mentality. I'm absolutely not this. Okay? I still look at the same set of data as everyone else. I find the information out there, and I still am looking at what the devs are saying, and I choose, instead of going, this game's gonna die, I'm just going, well, we're looking at all the things that the devs are saying. There's still possibility in the future that things might go well. You know, I like to take a positive slant to that. And I know that some people think that I'm kind of, you know, because I decided to present the information in that sort of way, it makes me a guy that is in the service of Shark Mob or service of the devs or whatever. Absolutely not. I will call out whenever there needs to be something to call out. And also, there's plenty of people that are already calling out a bunch of things. I just making sure that you've got the info. If you need to criticize the devs, at least your info, the way that you're criticizing it, you're going to be well informed, and you're not going to come in with some weird conspiracy theories of what the devs are doing or how the devs are doing or what exactly they're doing in the background. I'm not interested in this, okay? I want this game. I love this game. I want this game to do better. And we need to present things not in an unrealistically positive sort of way, but in just like, here's the data. We need more people to come in. Play the game. Get some people to play the game. This isn't like a unrealistic kind of positive view of doing things, you know? I'm not ignoring all negativity. Absolutely not. I mean, I'm talking about these issues that apparently no one wants to talk about, right? See, this was a little toxic, what I just did there right there. It's not me. It's not my usual thing. Okay, moving on to other things. Because that's, you know, the debate is still out there, but here you've got the info. The dev is telling you with player behavior that they've looked at for a while, 2.5 minutes is kind of the general threshold of people, of when they will decide to, like, you get me inside a game, or I cancel, or I quit, or I don't play this game, you know? You need a certain amount of trust in things that are being done. And yeah, certainly there's some things that the devs are saying that they're looking into, or maybe you're misinterpreting the things that they're saying, but they still want this game. You still have to consider that they still want this game to do well, because it is their jobs on the line. And their jobs on the line does not necessarily mean that your feedback is the feedback that they need to follow, or else you'll go away. No, they'll go for what is best for the health of the game with the amount of resources and time that they have in their hands. And they're not going to explain all of this to us. And there's a lot of things that are happening behind closed doors. And yeah, you need to take that into consideration, that you never have, as only a player of the game, you never have the full story of what exactly is happening, but you have to deal with the info that you are being given. And sometimes, if you ask politely and respectfully to the devs. Maybe they'll get you something, some little info, some little insight, maybe, you know, and you don't necessarily have to do it in a way that you are giving a rim job to the devs in order to do that. Like, I'm not going on my knees for a dev to give me an answer about a thing. I just like their game. If they want to give out information and they feel like they're okay with giving out some certain information without breaking any NDA or getting fired, it's up to them, you know? Rim jobs, Motion. It's rim jobs. Cover your ears, children. Well, anyways. Hey, it's not the worst things that people have been saying on stream, so, you know, I'm fine. Okay, now come from the other... I'm sorry, I've been in this corner here, I guess, for a while. I haven't been looking at my stream. There we go. Let's bring it back to me. Let's bring it back to me. Hello. Hello, let's bring it back to me. No, okay. So I wanted to talk about the other controversial or controversy or whatever has been happening that people have been mentioning, and that is the double jump. So let's take a moment to talk about double jump, what it is. The double jump is a tech that people have discovered inside the game, where you would jump on the top of, where you would do a movement with the melee weapons, where you would be able to jump on the top of after jumping, and then you'd get extra movement, basically. Where it came from a long while ago. I believe it was in early access where people discovered that you could be doing that. People were testing movements and figured that out. When people asked the devs about that, the devs said, yes, this is a bug, but since it's not breaking anything, we're going to keep it in the game and we're going to say it's a feature. Okay? So with the update, as previously mentioned, inside the patch notes, they added after the fact that that the double jump is no longer in the game. What they've discovered is that the double jump was actually, while everyone was saying like it's not breaking anything, we're just gonna keep using it. Actually, it turns out that this double jump was creating server desync and was creating also other problems server side. So, of course, when they discovered that, they're like, okay, well, it's creating problems, creating desync problems, and sorry, they did not necessarily like specify exactly which kind of issues were resulting from this. So just know that it's desync issues and server issues. They did not say exactly which, like in what capacity exactly that was. They just said this is what it does. So of course now, because the innocent, you know, it's not hurting anything bug is actually hurting things, they removed it. Which, you know, this seems logical on the dev side. Something is actually causing an issue. Yeah, of course, it's a bug. We're going to patch it out at some point. Before it used to not cause problems, now we discovered that it has been causing problems. So we removed it. The debate comes from the fact that there are people that were, and it's usually like much more experienced people or people that have been playing the game for a long time, were using the double jump regularly, as much as any other kind of command or movement command that you would be able to input inside the game. It was a way of traversing the map, and they were doing it like almost mechanically. You know, it's not mechanically. I mean, they're doing it naturally. It's a part of, you know, the kind of movement that you're doing inside the game. You just have the combo already like natively learned inside your fingers. You know how to do it. And so when the patch went live and they saw that the double jump wasn't working, suddenly everything felt clunky to them, because for them that kind of movement was a core mechanic for them. It was as much a core mechanic as, doing the slide jumping, which is another kind of mechanic that's inside the game, or the jumping, the sliding with the walls to get yourself more momentum, jumping from the walls, pushing back from the walls in a movement to get yourself more momentum. For them, this was a core mechanic, and their complaints about this are legitimate, because that was a part of their game. Now, because they don't have this movement mechanic anymore, everything feels a little bit more slow, everything feels a bit more clunky. They have the impression that jumping from building to building isn't possible anymore. And the rest of the community that was not using double jump, or didn't even know that double jump was a thing, were kind of going, huh? Nonplussed about the issue. And also saying that maybe the people that were complaining about this were exaggerating. Now, certainly I have seen some statements from some people that were straight up exaggerations to the point of lies. But it still remained that the core thing that I just explained was still a legitimate feel in all of this. It's just that they've been getting a lot of pushback from people going, get over it. We've been playing the game just without using the double jump, and we've been doing fine. Welcome to our world, which is the world of apparently the majority of players of Bloodhunt. So I understand the push and pull from the two different point of views of the community about this. And I understand from one point of view, like, downplaying the issue. Absolutely, because it's something that, been able to jump from building to building using the usual tech that we have is possible. I've used double jump in the past, but I haven't used it excessively. I've been using the other kind of the usual tech that everyone is using. And of course, there's been like the mention of the alpha boots, the 7 league boots that used to be inside that used to be in the alpha build, that introduced a way of gaining the ability to double jump. That is a thing that existed. Some people have been asking for this to be reinstated back in the game, or just make it baseline for everyone to be able to double jump, because the other arguments were the fact that, well, the double jump, you kind of had to know about it. It was in between people that were there at the very beginning when everyone spread the word that there was a double jump, or the people that literally put a link to a video inside of their streaming channels, and that's how they told each other about the double jump. But there was no way inside the game, there was no tutorial, there was no mention anywhere in the anything official from Bloodhunt that double jump was an actual legitimate tech. There was only the mention from the devs that said, yes, we're keeping it, but remember, like, this was a bug that was turned into a feature. We're not removing it, but it was still mentioned everywhere by everyone. Everyone knew that it was a bug, but it's still in the game. Everyone knew it was a bug. I'm saying this specifically because I've seen a couple of people starting to change the narrative to keep reminding people this was presented as a feature. They keep saying this. It was presented as a feature. Always as a feature. Bloodhunt presented as a feature. Well, that's not true. It was presented as it's a bug turned into a feature. It's always been known by everyone that's been using double jump that it was a bug originally. So that kind of argument, I just want to push that to the side because it's trying to create a false narrative. So a lot of people have been wondering about this. Some people have been asking, can we bring the boots that were in alpha, the artifact that was in alpha, that was an item that you would pick up in the map. I will actually, someone linked a picture of it. So I'm just gonna post that here, the alpha boots, basically. I'm like calling them. If you want to see a picture of it, it's just boots on the ground. But yeah, some people have been asking, can we add that back in the game? It's still an ability, and exactly like Motion Gaming says in chat right now, if you want a double jump mechanic, it will take some time to develop. It doesn't necessarily mean that because it was a thing that was in alpha, they just go, you should just take the item from the build and bring it back in the new build, in the existing build. Doing that is not easy. It's not as much as a, you know, from people that are not necessarily inside game dev, it's not as easy as doing a copy paste. That's not how it works. It has to be still developed, programmed. Maybe like the entire code needs to be revised because the game has changed since then. It needs to be tested extensively. But that is still a possibility that a lot of people have been mentioning. So we might not have it right now, but if enough people complain about it, or enough people like ask for it, on the upside, it's not going to be just a bunch of select people that will learn of this tech. Everyone will get double jump if this actually pushes through. That's the thing to remember. Some people have been, I've also seen some people mention that, yeah, it happens in pretty much every game that very experienced players learn of some tech because they're playing the game so much. At some point they learn shortcuts or they find new ways of adapting things and getting themselves like an advantage using everything that is legitimately in the game. And so that should still remain something that only the high-end skill people can get. I think that's kind of a false argument. I don't like. At this point, it's been so much brought into light right now. The spotlight is so much right now on the double jump that it's going to have to be democratized, basically, inside the game, whatever happens, if ever it gets brought back in a different form. I prefer it gone over adding double jump to everyone. An actual double jump would be a big movement change. See, it's pain. That's exactly what needs to be tested. And that's why you would need like a lot of extensive testing, is to see like how it would exactly work inside the game and who would have an advantage over this, because it would be big movement change, but at the same time, everyone would have it. Would everyone actually use it? That's another kind of player behavior kind of thing that you have to do. I know that for a lot of... Okay, I will take this as an example before I move on to a different topic, okay? The slide jumping. Not a lot of people use that, but some people do. The one where you take a running... You start to run. After a few seconds, you use your slide, and then you jump before you lose momentum, and you gain momentum while doing your jump. That is a tech that is inside the game, and it's a tech that used to be in the tutorial. Originally, in the first few steps of the tutorial inside the game, they'd ask you to do a jump slide from one point of a rooftop to another rooftop. And for many people, apparently, myself included, originally, I did not know what was being asked of me, because the description inside the tutorial was not making any sense to me. I did not know exactly what I was looking for until someone explained to me what I was supposed to be doing, or someone explained it in a stream, and then I figured out about the jump sliding. It's like, of course, that's how it makes sense. But before that, like, yeah, it used to be in the tutorial and it was removed. Think about that. That's the kind of mechanic that people should know about, but right now it's in the game, but no one and nothing is explaining it to you, which has led like the whole discussion about the tutorial needs to be revamped inside the game, or we need more people putting some more tips and tricks videos, or like putting some more attention on a good video to tell people how to learn the game, how to learn the movement, how to learn the tech of the game. That's another kind of subject, a debate topic that's been brought up inside the community. Now, about the fact that it was not in the patch notes. The mention about the double jump not being there, or about double jump being removed, was added after the fact, was added after the patch was loaded in. Then Tobias said in the Discord that now it's been added to the patch notes, and confirming also that the double jump has been removed because it was creating issues. I want to add, because I don't know exactly, like the thing is we don't know exactly what happened there. Why post it after the fact? I see two different possibilities, okay? One is that simply, very simply, it was not added in the patch notes because someone forgot. And like, it's possible there was another version of the patch notes, or it was not put in the patch notes because, you know, have different versions of a document, or it's also possible, like whenever you have a game that you have, like, you follow up in the next few days and talk about undocumented changes is what they usually call it. Let me tell you about putting patch notes together. It is not simply putting a list together of going into the Jira program, going through all the tickets of all the things that people have worked on that are, you know, scheduled to be added to the update. You don't just go through this and assume that all of this is actually what goes inside the patch. I mean, it certainly is a good indicator. It's a good place to start. But usually, and if you pay attention in other games, and also in the past that's been the same thing as well, because I've been following some community managers for other games, and a lot of them have come to the same kind of conclusion, or the same kind of announcement or tweet on the side going like, putting those patch notes was a big ordeal. It was a labor of love, or it was a, you know, it was a whole team effort to put those patch notes together. And not a lot of people like actually question. They just go like, okay, kind of weird statement. The thing is, the person that puts the patch notes together has to run back and forth in the office to actually confirm with everyone these are things that are being added to the patch. And it's a lot of, I still tell people to think of a game studio as any sort of office, you know? Hey, we're supposed to stick to one way of doing things, and there's Bob over there that decides, you know, I'm just gonna do my things, documenting things at some point, maybe on a Friday, because, you know, Laura keeps nagging me about putting the patch notes in, because I keep not doing it because I'm too busy doing other stuff, and I hate doing like the notes about my documentation that I'm doing about I did this, I did that, and just like, oh, fucking Laura, and then someone goes by, is like, oh, you forgot this, and you forgot that, and you forgot that. Wait, yeah, I did. Wait, I didn't, like, that other thing I didn't. Well, it's already gone to press. Or, you know, there's stuff like that. Sometimes there's programmers that fix things that forgot to mention that they fix things. And now it's not just like the person that put up the patch notes that goes like, what the fuck, Bob? You forgot to mention this and this. It's not just like the person that put the patch notes together that is angry at Bob. It's also the QA, the quality assurance team, that is angry at Bob, that says, you added some things, we didn't know about it, we didn't test it, and then, okay, we're gonna see, there's something that's live that's not been tested or not been tested properly, we're gonna see. It might explode in our faces, or it might, you know, be totally fine until it's not. And yeah, quality assurance people, you don't want to piss them off. You don't want to piss off quality assurance people because they're doing their best to help with the game. No, Laura was doing her job. Bob wasn't. But yeah, it can happen sometimes. Undocumented changes is just like sometimes, you know, you ask someone in Slack, hey, can you give me your notes? And then at some point, like the person, like you send them like you message them to Slack again and again and again and again, and they never get back to you. And then you go like, well, I have to put out the patch notes right now because we have to like translate them. We have to like put them out on the website. We need to test, and the contents right now, like I had until this deadline, and until this deadline now I have to go with whatever information I have. And then it can happen that like 2 days later, like, you know, frickin' Patrick comes back at you, is like, hey, I've got the notes that you asked for. Is like, well, stupid, it's too late. I can't add them in. And it's too late, you know. And see, there's a lot of possibilities that undocumented changes or things get forgot in patch notes, like in a very totally normal, totally boring way. And it happens all the time in all of the games. Sometimes it does happen that there's a few things that they are purposely leaving secret. Okay? But it's kind of a, we're letting the community, we're letting the players find out about those things. And it's usually like secret fun things. They don't usually hide things that are important to the game or important to the gameplay. They don't hide. They need to be transparent about this. I've seen some people mention that maybe it's been hiding it from the community on purpose, that the double jump was removed. Which is absolutely ridiculous. You're gonna piss off people because of the double jump, and then you're gonna post on the Discord, yeah, also we removed it, and no, we didn't tell you. It's gonna be, and people will find out that or some people will find out about the patch notes, and then we'll find out that yes, it wasn't put on purpose. There's 3 ways that you're gonna get people more and more and more angry at you on purpose for something that, you know, like I said, people use the double jump on the regular. Like, it was going to be impossible for anyone within the first hour to not notice that it was removed. Like, impossible. We knew that a bunch of people use double jump. So the fact about like maybe purposely hiding it from the community, absolutely ridiculous. Does not make sense. You're purposely making more people angry at you. No, I'm not buying this at all. The other possibility, which sounds like the most viable possibility that I can think of, is that remember the Hydra bug. Remember the summer patch, the summer update, when they said Hydra bug is going to be fixed. And the game director at that time said, I hope it's fixed. Said the day before, I hope it's finally fixed. And some people were asking, like, wait a second, why you're saying I hope? You put it in the patch notes that it was going to be fixed. It's like, put it in the patch notes because we wanted to tell people that we found the solution. Finally, that should be gone. But at the same time, not confirming it that it's entirely removed, that it's been entirely removed until after a while has happened, because there might still be some issues that happen when you go from a test server to a live server. Sometimes some things don't necessarily translate well. That's why you got like some bugs on patch day in a lot of games. It's just something that, like, it might be things that they tested, but until you put everything in a live game where everything is connected, with like everything goes live, you never know exactly how things are going to go. And that's for every program every live service. It always happens, that kind of thing. So after a certain amount of time, I think it was like a few hours or a day and a half or something like that. After the update was out, that's when the game director said, "Okay, I can safely say, looking at the reports, looking at player behavior, looking at streams, the Hydra bug has been successfully eradicated, and it's done. It's over." So remember that. So I think that there was some server changes. The possibility was that there were some changes made to the servers, some changes made to some behavior behind the background, and they waited until the game was live to see if the double jump was actually removed. Because remember, the double jump was a bug. So had to still go live to see, is the bug still there? And then after seeing a bunch of people complain that the double jump is not there, they're just like, okay, bug is gone. Now we're going to have to let people know that it's actually gone. Because we couldn't 100% confirm that it was something that was going to be a part of the patch, a part of the update. And I think that's the most logical way of explaining things. And I will show you what makes me think of that. I mean, it could be completely random, okay? It could be like totally unrelated. But oh, by the way, these are the boots I was telling you about. One thing that escaped the notice of a lot of people is that I pay attention to Kinagi. Kinagi, as previously mentioned in other streams before, he is DevOps, especially servers. Situation about servers, that's him. Whenever Combat used to have like to be streaming live, and people used to say, like, complain about situations with servers, and Combat would say, "I'm going to contact someone." He's writing to Kinagi. What are those boots? Okay, because I'm showing it. These were in the alpha version of the game. They were boots that gave you the ability to double jump. These are not in the current game. Okay, this was in the alpha version. They were removed since then. So that's the kind of thing that people are bringing back these days to the conversation of double jump, going like, "Hey, remember this? Add that back in the game." That's gonna fix the issue of double jump. It's still gonna be in game. So just to be sure that everyone knows, this is not in the game. This was in the alpha. So getting back to what I was saying, Kinagi is the person that takes care of the servers, and a day before the update, Kinagi posted an update. He doesn't post a lot. He doesn't like stream a lot. He doesn't answer DMs either. So if you're thinking about DMing him about servers and server updates about all this, you're wasting your time. By the way, he's not going to answer any of those. Just so you know. I sent him a DM about that like 3 weeks ago or something like that. He hasn't answered me yet. He doesn't answer my DMs. Okay, maybe possibly my DMs, but I heard from other people that also he doesn't answer their DMs. Because Kinagi is special. Look at what he said. Something that I'm super proud of myself and my team for finishing is a service switch that took us 12 weeks to plan and execute and affected over 300 plus users. This Monday morning, we had our first successful weekend where it ran like a dream. Now we can rest happily. I'm not saying that this is linked to any of the stuff that's been happening or the double jump. I'm just saying that there's been some server switches that have to do with things related to servers. Are these two connected? I'd like to think so, but it may be not. Remember I said earlier that some people said that the servers suddenly played very well since the update? I know that there's some people that say that the servers are still laggy and all that sort of stuff. I know that. But I'm saying that there are some people that said that things are running much better since the update, and that might be something that's related to it. Might be. I don't know. I don't have any details. I don't know exactly what a service switch entails or what it means. I'm not inside the game. I'm not a DevOps engineer. Absolutely not. I'm just putting that out there that it may be a reason. It might be related. The other thing that people have been talking about, I'll get back to me because I have nothing to show about this. There's been some disquiet and some talk about the fact that there is no official end to the Battle Pass. Metal Combat, thank you for following. I appreciate you. So some people have been talking about the fact that there's no official end to the Battle Pass. Now, some people have been taking this as a sign of, hey, it's an indefinite Battle Pass. It means that it will not end. It means that no update is coming in the future. Which we know is absolutely false. The explanation said that it's to stop people from having expectations of exactly when the next update is going to come or when the next battle pass is going to come. On their end, on the dev end, it means it gives them leeway, and it gives them it removes the expectation from them from delivering a patch when the countdown goes to 0. As we saw with the December update, they had to delay for a week, caused a negative reaction inside the community. Maybe they want to avoid that, and to do that is to just say, there you go, there's no end to this battle pass. It might also be a step towards bringing other battle passes to be permanent. Yes, there's no visible timer doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't one in the background. It's possible. But right now, this is like, it's just to say, it's removing those kinds of I don't know what's the correct word, but like it removes the like kind of like the urgency of like for the devs to like build expectations from people. On the other hand, and some people have been saying about this, some people like to have timers. Some people like to know, hey, I have until this. I have a schedule that I need to follow where I need to finish this battle pass. I like to be motivated with time. I like to have some goalposts that I can like decide what's going to be my way for me to like get from one point to the other. Having a time constraint makes me want to play the game within a certain amount of time. And removing that makes me go, removes a certain amount of certainty and confidence about where the game is going, what's happening in the future. And I certainly understand that point. Like, I appreciate also having some timelines and having a schedule to follow. But some people were also bringing that argument, but tying it into the fact that it just tells me that the devs aren't confident in bringing a new update in the future. They're not confident in their content. They're just, they're just gonna let it run until no one plays the game and it all dries up. It's just kind of like, you put the gas in the car, you put the pedal, and then you leave and you let it go, and the car is gonna stop to stand still whenever it feels like it. Which we know is absolutely false. Tried to argue with some of those people, they blocked me. Because that's how arguments go. When you don't like an opinion, you block them. I certainly understand that point. Also, some people notice that because there is no time to the battle pass, it means that the weekly challenges are not existent anymore. Because why put weekly challenges when you don't know when it's gonna end? I understand on the philosophical way of understanding this. Well, but another thing that it brings again the same kind of worry is that some people used to like having those weekly objectives, even if they were very easy for them to complete. There were still some steps that they had to follow, that they were following and that were guiding them in order to complete the battle pass. They need to have objectives. Some people don't like to just play to play. It's just give me a structure in which I will evolve and will eventually, I will play but also be working on other things at the same time. That is what the thing I was a bit disappointed in not necessarily having inside this update. I was expecting more retention features. I know I've been talking about that a lot. The 100 level battle pass is definitely a big retention feature. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I was expecting more different bars or things to level. More things to work on. And that's the lack of this is what certain people were saying when they're saying, like, I don't have a weekly challenge. It's not necessarily for the XP that the weekly challenges was giving. It was because it was still some objectives to work on. Like, I think everyone that's completed the battle pass and the other battle passes still went to the weekly challenges to go, like, which one of them haven't I completed is just for completing things. Like, I've already maxed out. There's no extra after you complete the battle pass. There's no after a certain amount of XP or after a certain amount of levels you get like some tokens or some some extra cosmetics or anything like that. But everyone was still going through that just to complete them, just for the heck of it. But now that's gone. So that's still, while they added some things, there's some things that are removing. And at the same time, yeah, creates a little bit, again, it's like it's little things about the confidence in the game and in the devs that just, some people are seeing these little things left and right and going like, they're removing things, they're giving us less assurances. Maybe the thing about paring down the dev team is, some people took that as a big indication of where things were going, even though we know it's absolutely not the way that they're going. But I certainly understand for a person that doesn't follow this news recap and doesn't have all the info that I'm giving you, would think normally this is not a good sign for the future. I totally understand that. Well, yes, Metal Combat, they have updated the map right now. There's been some updates to the map in certain areas of the map that have been updated and improved, actually. At least what most people have been saying is it's been improvements all around. And they've removed a lot of stuff that was in the way. I don't know, Motion, if you're still here, but apparently those gates that were near the Divine Disco. I believe you were a main factor. Motion was a main factor in making sure that those gates, those little metal gates on the ground around the Divine Disco that everyone is getting caught on. I think he was the main factor in pushing the devs to remove those. Yes, exactly, Mokrai. Fuck those gates. I think everyone agrees. Fuck those gates. But in terms of new map Metal Combat, I don't believe that new map is something that is in the near future. I would say new map in terms of like, in the grid of like expectations about the game, new map should be in the lower tier. Don't expect a new map. Expect improvements to the current map that we have, yeah, and we just got a bunch of them that were, I would say, like for most people, that were very unexpected. but they made some changes. So new map entirely, lower part, just in terms of like what to expect or what is manageable and all this stuff. We gotta burn the church. Put out the burning church. Yeah, baby. But no, technically it's still happening. It's still in lore. It's still happening in one night. So the church is burning, and we need to remember that the burning church is a very, very important and key thing inside the map. Our poor prince rest in powder, I guess. Because when you die, when you're a vampire, you just turn to ashes and grease, I guess. Rest in powder. I didn't think of that. Thank you, brain, on the spot, thinking of something. What else? Okay, wanted to bring that back. Boom. Next, we still have a few more things to bring, okay? And a few more things to bring to the table. I want to talk about this, or at least mention this. There's many reasons why. The thread by Gustav the Genius, I don't know exactly if I'm pronouncing it right. Game design lead. He is now moved from Bloodhunt to some of the other projects that Sharkmob is working on. Now he decided a couple of days before the patch to put out a thread there. There's many opinions about the thread, but I'm still gonna read it there. There's a bit of information that people might want to hear from this. We're gonna read through this. So, next week we are launching our biggest Bloodhunt release so far, and I'm feeling a bit retrospective. In case you missed it earlier this week, we announced the December patch, CVC, hints at our new, and more. What does CVC mean for the future of Bloodhunt? People were worried about the core vampire. I forget what the CVC means. Okay, but anyway, the Bloodhunt team basically. Patches. The dev team for Bloodhunt grew to a level where a lot of extra work was needed for each patch. It's natural that when the team grows, so does the ambition, but also the overhead. We started off as a fairly small company, but we have grown a lot and learned a lot. Seasons. We adjusted from seasonal to monthly patches pretty early on, so we could get content to players faster. We were not set up for this from the start, but it was necessary for us to keep up with the expectations that the community had on our game. We learned a lot. Testing. Testing the contents that players expected. Quest, outfits, balance changes. On the monthly basis meant we had to sometimes postpone content that we wanted to make. Archetypes, weapons, redacted. Core vampire crew. There you go. That's what I thought. I just forgot it for a second. So that's important to remember. There was some content that was postponed, such as the Warden. We knew that was in the works for a long while. Introducing the core vampire crew. Oh well, it's right there in my face. Vampire crew. Oh, it's the crew that vapes. The core vaping crew? Is that what I'm getting? Yo, dude, we get it. You vape. The CVC is a focused version of our dev team. More slim, agile, and adaptive. Quick on their feet. Their focus: make the best Bloodhunt. Attempt to shock and impress. You will see a lot of updates. I've seen the sneak peek. That's a big one. That's a big one, people. That is a big one. We were like the learnings article was saying that it was just basically people were being removed from the team. It didn't explain a lot. This is kind of refocusing the communication on this is basically what we got from this, and from talking with people at Sharkmob is basically there were too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many debates made about what we should be doing, and now it's kind of removing some people, and let's get a core team that is going to be able to work faster, focus better, dedicated people. I don't know if I'm going to be like going into this, but I've mentioned it last week with some testimonials from people that were at Shark Mob or were at Bloodhunt or still in Shark Mob, but everyone was saying that the people that are inside the core vampire crew are the absolutely most dedicated Bloodhunt people inside Shark Mob. Like, absolutely everyone's giving like their 100% confidence inside the crew, and this is again like another vouch for that crew. Also, you will see a lot of awesome updates. I've seen the sneak peek. More updates in the future. There you go. I know that some people have been like, I've been telling people, Mokrai and Jiangxi also, we've all been telling people they've got some updates in the future, and some people like, where I don't trust you. Nah, the game is dead. Absolutely not. Awesome updates. Another person that's again, it's another person saying like, there are updates, there are more updates coming in the future, there are updates in the pipeline. Believe that. Expectations. The CVC are passionate. There we go. I shouldn't have talked. I should have just continued to read. The CVC are passionate, talented, and wouldn't want to work on anything but Bloodhunt. We've been working to set up the CVC up for success this fall. As of the October update, the game is more complete and on a great trajectory. The CVC can focus on the future. That's what I've been telling you for months now. Foundations have now been fixed. The CVC crew can build on those foundations for the future. Design team. I've never been more excited about the future of Bloodhunt, but I'm not needed on a smaller crew. There are 3 kick-ass designers staying on the CVC, and I know that they are more than capable on delivering on the expectations of the community and then some. 3 kick-ass designers. Some people have read this and thought, oh yeah, so that's 3 people to add on to the 2 people that were introduced. So that's 5 people. There you go, confirmed. Absolute bullshit. This doesn't mean anything. I'm actually thinking that maybe Gustav probably didn't know that it was gonna create that kind of feedback based on this tweet. Would have asked to elaborate a little bit more about like why you're specifically saying 3 kick-ass designers when you know that the team is going to be bigger. But anyways, it's just, this doesn't necessarily mean anything. The fact that they're like 3 kick-ass designers, it's just, some people decided to totally use this as, look no further. And I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Look no further. Don't look into this too much. Me, I finally get to enjoy Bloodhunt as a fan. I still play the game, and I'm staying at Shark Mob as a lead game designer, but on Project 2. Remember, they have 2 unannounced projects right now. I'm so proud of my contributions to Bloodhunt. It's my career high. I'll still be Bloodhunt hype man number 1, but now from the sidelines. Community, thank you for making my job even better. The love and support that some of you have helped spread, both about the game to the devs and even supporting our Save the Children event, truly made working on this game special. Thank you truly. Future. I want to leave this pretty vague. It is not my job to reveal any cool plans that the CVC has. I have seen what the team is working on for the future. A lot of the community requests are being worked on, but also unexpected highlights. The future is bright. I want to save this tweet, post it somewhere on my screen whenever I'm streaming, just to remind people of this. Again, a reminder that are things happening, some community requests that are being worked on. There are still things in the future. These are all, like, I'm gonna make a compilation of those things just to remind people. Still some things happening for Bloodhunt. Does not mean that because the team has been pared down a little bit, has been cut down. That means that nothing's happening. This isn't goodbye. I'll see you later. Next week, we are launching our biggest update for Bloodhunt. I couldn't be more excited. Let's have some progress to make on the Platinum Trophy. So I'll see you when the update drops. There you go. Good things to read through this. It's also, you know, putting a different spin on some things that, you know, could be debated on. But this is, you know, I know that some people have some things about the way that some comments about the way that he said some things, but in general, people should see this thread as a big plus, a big approval of whatever's happening in the future. Another thread that has happened. I'm getting, like, I know this is probably the longest show I've ever done, like, in terms of going through news, but bear with me, we're almost done. There was a thread by CombatGlue. Samir. I have to point out because I thought that was funny. The patch notes had been released. 10 minutes later, Samir started posting his commentary about it. The man was ready. The man was waiting for the patch notes to go in and to say, you know what, gang? This has been announced and I'm all against it. I know that is disingenuous. I'm just saying this to, like, make a joke. But immediately he was there announcing the new Ventrue. We didn't have time to celebrate properly. My man's already there going, so I'm not a fan of the Ventrue clan and how they're being portrayed in Bloodhunt. Not that they're wrong in the VTM world, more that the style is not fitted in Bloodhunt. Bloodhunt being a maneuver game, and the devs focusing on anti-maneuver, they should have focused on the other abilities the clan has. Like, I like Samir, okay? I like combat. Like, I appreciate a lot. And he should know it by the, like, you know, we've been sharing some things a little bit more freely these days because, you know, ex-dev. I couldn't have waited like a couple of days, dude. Just 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. It's like, yay, new Ventrue. Actually, I'm gonna come here and pop your balloons. Hold on. You can't be excited about it. I'm just like, I'm not. And I find this funny as heck. Anyways, so to continue what he mentioned, this is a W patch. Small L for weapon and both Ventrue archetypes being anti-movement, but the fucking rest is a huge win. Oh, I'm saying this mostly because, like, when there's threads like this and you don't mention that it's a thread, people will see the first tweet that you're putting out. So to start this way, but then you open up and then go, oh wait, hold on, he has good things to say about. Oh, anyways, it's just funny. The fucking rest is a huge win. I'm looking forward to play the game and to listen to devs, listen to ambassadors. They know what the community wants. Great work, let's go. And to be very straight, I'd rather have a wrong archetype, in my opinion, than none. I think Ventrue should have come at the 6th or 7th clan when there was more archetypes to choose from, and they should not be as played. I understand what he means. It's just the way that he announced it. I was just like, dude. And he's been sharing his opinion, and some people have, how can I say, some people have seen this as, yes, finally a dev that is with us against the other devs. Ban the Ventrue. The Ventrue was a bad idea from day one. And I hated that. I hated that. There's no fun in Bloodhunt. There's a few things that he added. Like Samtab saying, I love seeing your honest opinion about it. Hope you enjoy the game. Might give it a try for a new character. We'll see. Samtab has since changed their opinion to go, like, after testing it, going, oh my gosh, this is great. which I like. Thank you. I always felt I was honest. Sometimes I was a bit more diplomatic, and sometimes I just shut up because I did not know if it would snowball or taken out of context. Well, sorry to hear about that, but But in the end, I love the game, and I believe Shark Mob was dealt the worst hand possible. Unlucky. Now that's something that Combat has been saying for a while now, or at least ever since he's been making this thing. He's been talking about how Shark Mob was dealt the worst hand possible. I would love to hear more about this. Again, can't go into details, but yeah. So I hope that this story will come out at some point, but also sometimes it's good to have secrets about those things. But yeah, he started like a healthy discussion about all of this. He also started a discussion about the double jump earlier that I mentioned. And yeah, just as a reminder, now that Combat is no longer a dev at Shark Mob, it does not mean that he's able to reveal everything. Like there's some things that are still falling under a certain kind of don't tell secrets. He still remains an ambassador for Bloodhunt. Okay, he will still be there, but it's just that right now he'll be more free to give us support, to have honest discussions, to have But again, still I would ask people, if you're still going into streams or listening to his opinions, sometimes you still have to remember that sometimes his opinions about things are just his opinions about things. It's not necessarily mean exactly like what he says about the Ventru clan. Ventru probably not the best choice, but at the same time, it's not like, oh yeah, Ventru's always been bad. Like, no. It's just like could have used other classes, other bloodlines instead of Ventru. You still will have to take his statements about the game with a healthy bag of salt beside you and be able to distinguish like his own past opinions as dev, or his opinions as a player, or his opinions as a guy that's been playing Vampire the Masquerade since almost practically the beginning when it was a tabletop game. La Sombra superior anyway. I mean, La Sombra is probably one of the most likely clans to come in the future. If you look at the list of things, La Sombra might be something in the near future. What else do I have to add? What else? I have to say a few more things. I'm getting to the end, people. This is So again, I want to remind you, like I think I've made it very clear in the last few minutes that this is not the last update. I need to remind people, this is not the last update. I know there's no end to the past. It makes people worry. I get it. We have, in terms of like things to follow through, we need to wait from news from the CVC team to let us know what's up. Okay? Because now it's like, I know it's still the people that worked on Bloodhunt, but now, whenever you remove some things, you change some people around, you need to rearrange internally how things are going to work. Okay? And you need to not only see how things are going to work internally, but also how you're going to pace out content and communications with the players, with the community. So it's up to them to let us know, okay, what's the new pace? What's the new, are you now going to be able to give us a, how do you call it? What's the term? Plan, a schedule for the future. What's the term of this? There's a term. Game plan, whatever. Like, are they finally gonna be able to let us know, give us some dates, give us some, let us know what are the things that are on the table. a game plan for the future. Like, how are things going to work from now on? Now that you have a different team, different crew, different vibe. Yeah, it's up to them to let us know how things are going to work from now on, because now we don't have a huge team with too many cooks in the kitchen. Now it's pared down a little bit. We're going to see how this works. So it's basically, we can't predict anything that's going to be happening in the future other than all the stuff, all the assurances that we got from the people saying, we've got updates, we've got updates, we've got content, we've got more things happening in the future. And like, other than that, like, let us know what's gonna be happening. Roadmap, there you go, Makrai, thank you. Roadmap, people have been asking for roadmap, and they've been saying earlier, roadmap, we couldn't give it to you because we didn't have specific things in place. The foundation of the game. Now that the foundation of the game has been set, and there's no need for a huge crew to rebuild those foundations, you've got a core team. Now the core team can tell us what's going to be a roadmap, because they don't need to change huge things that are necessary to run the game. So hopefully, my hope is that we get that kind of announcement from the CVC team. At a point where it's going to be soon enough that people will not have started to leave the game. Because, like, once people complete the battle pass that we currently have, people are just going to go, well, okay, there's nothing for me to work on. I'm just going to move on to something else. But before they move on to something else, I would like the CVC team to make a little announcement of, like, hey, gang, here's the team. You have updates in the future. We have updates in the future. This is definitely not the end of Bloodhunt. We have plans for over 2023. Can't reveal anything now. Our next objective is maybe to get you another update at the end of February, let's say, or March, or something like that. That already sets an expectation, sets a little bit of a roadmap, a minimum amount of roadmap, or at least, you know, lets people know inside, like, plant a little idea inside their head that, yeah, there's still things to look forward to with Bloodhunt. I just want them to make that little announcement, like, soon enough that people have that inside their head before they complete the battle pass and leave. We're gonna see. It's up to them. They're gonna set the pace. And another thing, hold on. I could talk about this at another time, but I want to add this because it's been kind of serendipitous. I want to remind people that dev time is not player time. Development cycles work differently from the player cycles and feedback loops from player and dev. They're still working in the same kind of environment, but one is more delayed than the other. For instance, it's not because they've just released an update that it means that they've been working strictly just on that update, everyone at SharkMob, up until the day that it was released. That's not how it works. That's not how a game studio works. That's not how a good game studio works. Okay? While we were waiting for the December update, some people were already working on the following update, and probably on the following update after that. That is how things usually work. And I will take a moment. I know, just don't get too turned off by this, but I will mention Destiny 2 for a moment, and you will see how that connects with Bloodhunt in a moment. Okay, so Destiny 2, there is the very popular streamer, community person inside the community that everyone knows inside Destiny 2. He was named Dado. And on December 6th, there was Season 19 of Destiny 2 that was released. They got a new season as well. So this week, was it this week? Yeah, I think this is this week. This week, Dado released the video, because a lot of people asked for this, up on like explaining what the new season's about, and also his impressions on the season, and also the feedback from the community. He covers that. He kind of does the same thing as me. And so when he gets to the feedback from the community, here's the issue. Bungie, since this season, I think like 12 or 13, found a new way to package a season. There are a certain amount of activities that you need to do. There's things to level. There's a few things to accomplish, to get a title, to get some rewards, and it's all tied in and with a story, and it's usually a certain amount of weeks, and there's things to work on, and they found a way to package a season. Now, every season that they've released since the season 12 or 13 has been improving little bits and pieces, little tweakings of that kind of model, changing it from time to time, different stories, different settings, different importances of all this. But the core in itself, the structures of the seasons in Destiny 2 since then, have always remained the same. And as time has moved on, everyone kind of knew how the seasons were going to be played. You're going to have this thing to level. You're going to have this thing to unlock. You're going to, you go through the motions week after week, and you already know like what to expect in terms of the core settings, like the structure. And now there was season 16, season 17, season 18. People in the community were getting sort of angry and tired that it was always the same kind of structure. Okay, narratively, the story and the settings and the kind of cosmetics and the rewards you were getting from those seasons was different. Was welcome most of the time, and but the main complaint was just like, it's the same old thing all of the time. You paint it a different way, you put some makeup on it in a different way. Structurally, it's still the same thing, and we're getting tired and we're getting angry, and we can't believe that we're paying for seasons for that to get these exact same type of activity over and over and over again. It's boring. We're tired of it. And so people were expecting a change to happen because there's been so much feedback about it. And now season 19 was released, and people were very, very angry. Probably the angriest I've seen Destiny 2 players about seasonal content. It's been extremely negative. And now Dado, in his video, was explaining, yeah, there needs to be something that's been done. And he's saying, like I was saying earlier, feedback is being taken by the community. It's not because you're not seeing any changes right now that it means that they're not changes that are being planned. And he said, probably as season 19 was being launched, probably the devs were working already on finishing the touches of season 20, and that maybe in season 21 you'll start to see changes in the core structure of seasons. But that takes a long while in dev time to plan out a thing, actually work it together as a team, and execute it. And also not just execute it, but execute it and test it, because sometimes on execution, sometimes the new core structure, it doesn't work, it falls apart, and all of this. And that's what he was saying. And he also said in his video, so this is what I wrote before I was about to record this video. A day later, after saying this, the game director of Destiny 2 made a statement to the community, basically stating exactly what Dado said before. We know about your feedback. We know you're tired of the seasons. I understand why people are angry about season 19. And yes, of course, right now we are putting the final touches on season 20. But you might see some things change in season 21, but you got to understand that this takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. We are working on changing the seasonal model structure. We are working on it. It's just that in your time, in player time, of seeing these things appear inside your game, you're gonna have to wait. Because the way that things are being structured, we can't be as reactive as you would like it to be. And so you have to understand this is how dev works, and you're gonna have to please be patient with us. They have a new expansion coming in at the end of February, so at least that some people are gonna be like happy to see some new different content happening at that time. But that was the situation, and I couldn't help but listen to all of this and go like, this is more or less exactly what's happening with Bloodhunt. Like, some people are tired about some things, and like they're saying and thinking that the devs aren't listening to their feedback, but you don't know. And sometimes the devs won't be able to confirm any of this until it's actually like slated to come soon or ever. It depends. Some studios are very guarded with their secrets. Some of them like to leak a lot of stuff a lot of the time, or to straight up tell you like some weeks in advance, this is what we're working on. So yeah, it might seem for some people that your feedback in terms of Bloodhunt may not feel like it's being heard. But as you saw with what Gustav said in his thread, he has seen some things that the community, some big community asks are being worked on. It's just that the time until we actually get to the cycle where we're catching up on what the devs have been working on, it might be a while. Such as, the permanent store. We thought when we saw the permanent store that in September that that's it. But then we just realized now that, oh wait, the store as it is currently is actually the thing that they have been working towards all this time. It's just that the new UI for the store wasn't anything that they were ready to release at that time. Yeah, so you have to think on that the devs are always in the awful position of catching up on current feedback when they're already planning cycles, like many cycles ahead of us. And you have to think, like, it's the same exact thing for both companies. And Bungie is a big company, like much bigger than Shark Mob or much bigger than the CVC team. So the same issues are still there. Is just like in terms of, numbers and things, like they're different, that the impact is different, but it still remains the same kind of thing because that's the nature of game dev. And you need to understand that when you're giving feedback. Sometimes we are grateful enough that we give feedback one season and the next season, updates. We give feedback about one update, and then in the next update, there is directly an impact that you see from the previous one. And that's great when that happens. It's just that it's not always happening all the time and not always for the things that you want. Add blood back to faces after snacking. Bloodhunt? Yeah, why not? That's a good idea. It was fun to have that. Maybe it was causing some issues. So, thank you. Yes, I needed your permission before I started drinking, or else I would have just died. And so everyone, we're about at the end. We are about at the end. I'm drinking on my time unless I say. Yeah. Okay, hold on. We're getting there. Living on a prayer. if we take a look at the little Bloodhunt calendar, what hasn't changed like very much of things that are to come. Well, now we are currently here on the 17th here. We are delightfully enjoying the weekly news cap, which is about to reach 3 hours. F my life. This is gonna be fun uploading this afternoon. Next week, we don't have anything planned. On the 23rd, we are getting the new Twitch drop. As mentioned, we are getting the Die Please outfit. On the 24th, 25th, and on the 24th and on the 31st, I will be most likely on vacation. I will most likely be off. Maybe I'll be preparing the holidays with my family on those 2 weekends. However, if there are some big news that are coming out of Bloodhunt, I will let you know on my Twitter that I'm going to be tap me in and I'll tell the news. You go do it, Mokrai. If you want to, you go do it. I'll retweet you. I'll still be on the tweeters. But yeah, don't expect me to be there. I know that Tobias is officially on vacation as well, so I'm not expecting him to say anything during these 2 weeks. And on the 30th, we don't know what is going to happen, so effectively there will probably be some news to let us know what's happening with the Twitch drops, because the Twitch drops have been like pretty integral to viewership, engagement of people through about Bloodhunt. So we might get something, a little bit of news regarding this. We might have some automated tweets. We might have someone else inside the workplace that is tweeting something about that. Meanwhile, I will be streaming. Like during these 2 weeks, I will be doing some streams. Absolutely. It's just that a news recap, when there's not a lot of news to recap, we'll see. Okay, might be taking just a holiday break, everyone. Especially because, 3 hours stream today. Okay. What am I gonna do when you're away? I'll still be there. It just won't be any. If there's no news to say, if there's no news to recap, then I'm not gonna do the show. Anyways, I'll let you know. Follow my Twitter to know about this. Socials, there we go. Here are all of my links. I'm super active on Twitter. At least normally it is. I am. It'll let you know whenever I'm gonna stream this week. That's a bunch of not this week, in the upcoming weeks. And there you go. We finally made it. It was long. It was arduous. It was sometimes kind of painful because you have to listen to me. But yeah, we are at the end. In January, what are we going to do? In January, we're going to start the waiting game. Waiting game part 1 will be, when is the core vampire crew gonna contact us and let us know what's happening? What are they going to do? How are they going to approach us? Or maybe they're not gonna say anything. But I'm hoping that we get a little message from the core vampire crew to let us know what's going to happen. If not, then we're going to play a longer waiting game until we hear news about things. But that's January as far as I know. Will there be new tournaments happening in January or something like that? Will people in the community be doing tournaments or events or giveaways or things like that? Someone before they left Shark Mob slipped like I think five or six little codes of Techno Demon masks and put them in my pocket. So I will be doing some giveaways. I just need to figure out what kind of context I will be doing those giveaways. As usual, Techno Demon masks, I let you know it a few days in advance that I'm going to be doing a giveaway because plenty of people want to get those in. I still have plenty of purple paint jacket, candy kid eyeglass giveaways. With my little informal poll that I did on Twitter over last week. Apparently, there's still some people also that are looking to get the fuchsia finish mask makeup. We also have a bunch of new people that are coming inside the game right now that are discovering the game, and they also want some of those codes. So to anyone from Sharkmod that's listening out there that likes to like be friends with people in the community and still has some codes to give out, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I could give out some more codes for you, like all the time. Little baby vampires, ooh woo. Yes. Like I'm a person that's gonna be there, that's friendly to the community, and will give out those codes anytime you want. Just let me know. Give me the codes. I don't know why I said that. But just, yeah, anyways, letting you know, we can find some. I will try to think of some activities. I know that my two favorite streamers, sorry, hold on. I didn't type that correctly. There we go. My two favorite streamers, and also mods, Mokrai and Joshidal. They are both also very good. They like to set up things for the community. They like to do giveaways. We basically are three streamers that are there for the community if you ever need help, advice, if you want some tutorials, if you want some giveaways. We are the three people that are there for the community. We like to help people. We love Bloodhunt. We want Bloodhunt to continue working. We want the game to still be alive and all of this, and we will encourage people to keep playing it. Follow these two lovely people. There you go. Let's do a little there we go. Follow Makra. Do it right now. She's lovely. Another thing, will we start having discussions about other clans again? I mean, you know, clans to come in the future. It's very possibly that right now there's some other archetypes are being worked on, like probably in the prototype stage, or maybe even advanced. They're not letting us know. It's possible that is something, but maybe we can start having like more discussions. Now we've got our two archetypes for Ventru, and I think that's enough for Ventru. If we're going with the, you know, 2 per clan, what's gonna be the next one? I think La Sombra, but yeah. Maybe we can have those discussions again about what's going to be happening in the future in terms of bringing more clans to the game. We're going to see. But as a reminder to everyone, if you ever pick up on some details that you think might be interesting or might be newsworthy for me to repeat to an audience here, don't hesitate to contact me. Let me know. Give me screenshots of convos or give me the links to the VODs. I appreciate it. I can't be there on every stream. There's only 24 hours in a day, and by golly, do I need sleep right now. So if you want to help me out in putting out the good word, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for following Cloud TV. Thank you for following. Yes, so like Cloud TV, give me a follow on Twitch. My channel is growing. I appreciate everyone for joining up. And I hope that, again, like if I manage to reach the 250 follower mark, I can join in several different programs that can help me give more out to the community. I just need to get that community growing. I know a certain person that lurk it that is definitely waiting for me to get the 250 follows so they can start throwing things my way. I know there's a certain person out there. Wink, wink, hello, Samir, how you doing? So yeah, and remember that whenever I'm streaming Bloodhunt, you have the special drops. I'm streaming, I will make sure to stream enough to be in the top 100 streamers of Bloodhunt all the time. Don't worry about that. And I do code giveaways. So follow me here, follow me on Twitter. That's it for us here. Thank you for staying through this grueling 3-hour recording marathon of the weekly recap of Bloodhunt news. I am tired. Hopefully tonight I'm going to sleep very well. Be kind to each other. It's the holidays. Have some good time. Enjoy Bloodhunt. Let people know of the game. Let people know of all the freebies that we're currently getting inside the game. Get your friends in. We need more people. We get more people inside. We get more people excited about all of this. We're gonna have less bots. The more people we have in the game, the less bots we have, the more chances of getting some community, some competitiveness, and some ranked modes inside the game back again. We're gonna see in the future. So everyone's gotta help out. And with this, that's it for us here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next recap. Thank you.